And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, James out west, Thursday, December 31st, 2020, New Year's Eve.
Last day of the year.
Last day
Get this
of
year
the year.
Over.
Get it gone.
No more 2020.
Get it gone.
Yeah, man. Let's move forward.
So, how did last week go for you?
Okay.
You feel like you did all right?
Yeah, it was a mixed bag. Not proud of it. But
yeah, neither the Cleveland Browns.
Just people don't cover. That's the hardest thing. And I think this week is going to be even harder just because of people out. You know, Jacksonville doesn't care if they freaking win. They already wrapped up the #1 seed. I think there's going to be some interesting things this week, but not great. How about you?
I did get 12 right and 8 against the spread. So it wasn't a terrible week for me in that regard. I did have the stinking Arizona Cardinals, who can't show up and play when needed, cost me on 2 bets because it was the only thing that didn't hit twice. That's 2 weeks in a row. Somebody, and it's always, you always get left with one. I understand. That's why you don't do big parlays and all that, but that's gambling, baby. You
know what's frustrating? Or, well, I shouldn't say frustrating because it was actually a really great weekend. My Niners did win, yes, but I did pick that as one of my 3 that was a lock.
Yeah, for the other one.
So that it was cool. Also, it was a good, happy household. Seattle won, so my wife was happy. And she also won the Super Bowl.
She won the fantasy football championship.
You know what? If I'm not going to win it, at least the money's still coming to the house.
It stays in the house.
It stays in the house.
I'm going to have to get Teresa in next year.
Yes.
Just so I can better my chances.
It was a happy household this weekend. So, yeah, it was, even though I didn't do too well in my picks, I'll take it. I'll take a win for my team over that.
Well, I got to be honest, I'm a little sad.
Yeah.
There's no football tonight.
No.
There's no Thursday night football. There's no NFL football.
And no Saturday. We've had last 2 weeks of Saturday football.
But that'll change after next week with the playoffs and everything. So, it's going to be rough.
A little bit
to watch the college football.
Uh-oh.
All right. Now, there's a lot of win in your in scenarios.
Yes.
In both the AFC and the NFC. Real quick, AFC win and they are in Miami, Cleveland, Baltimore, and Tennessee.
Yep.
Tennessee wins, they win the division, they're in. Baltimore wins, it's a playoff victory. Or they're in wild card. Cleveland wins, wild card. Miami wins, wild card.
Yep.
If any of them lose and Indy wins, they're in.
Yep.
And that's about how that should go for the AFC, correct?
I would say so. It's going to be interesting. I think a lot of these are going to be simpler games than people are building up, but it's still interesting.
Well, like, for example, Cleveland, Philadelphia. They wish they were Philadelphia. Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Steelers are sitting Ben, T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, center Marcus Pouncey.
Yep.
The Browns have no reason, even though with the COVID and us being down some guys.
Shut down, but it was outside the facility, so they're not having to shut down everything. So it's going to be interesting. And I think even the NFC, who can lock up #1 spot? It could either be Green Bay, New Orleans, or even Seattle could lock up #1 and get the bye.
Well, Green Bay, I know Chicago thinks, Chicago's been playing good, but they're still the Chicago Bears. It's still Mitchell Trubisky. I'm still not sold. Matt Nagy's still coaching for his job.
But you got to give him credit. Trubisky's
I do. They're
good.
in the hunt.
Yeah.
They win and they're in.
Yeah.
They win and they're in. If Washington wins, they win the division, they're in. If Arizona wins, they're in. Dallas has to win and Washington has to lose for them to get in.
Oh my God.
The Rams have to win to beat Arizona.
Without Goff.
Starting some kid from Wilford.
It's going to be interesting, man. There's a lot this week, and I think it's going to be hard to adjust. But I also think I got some pretty good picks this week.
Green Bay needs the victory at Chicago to lock up their 1 seed. I think that's important for them. They want it to run through Lambeau.
Yeah.
I think Aaron Rodgers has historically played pretty good football.
He's playing probably.
He's the MVP.
I don't think so, but he's probably playing.
Are you telling me Pat Mahomes, who's had a bunch of subpar weeks and their teams are barely getting by, and Aaron Rodgers right now? I think Pat might have been 6 weeks ago, and I've been pumping Aaron Rodgers all year for the MVP and we've both been putting
since the beginning of the year.
And we both have talked about J.O.W.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah, he's
not going to win it, but he's in the conversation, which is what we said all along.
He's just, dude, Buffalo is rolling right now. You know what's going to be funny is that if Aaron Rodgers goes off, he might actually take the MVP from Mahomes because Mahomes is going to sit.
I think he's got the MVP locked up already.
I think it's too close, but I have to credit where credit is due. You've been calling it all year.
He's just having the best year of his career, basically.
He's playing the best football he's probably played maybe in his entire career.
Absolutely. So they want that number 1 seed. So let's start with the picks. All right, so the first game we're going to go over, Dallas at the G-Men of New York. New York plus 2.5. Dallas, this is a gut sack game. Yep. They have to win.
They have to.
The Giants are a little banged up.
But they have to win.
I'm going to take Dallas in this. I think the Red Rifle.
Andy Dalton is looking good.
And he has the experience of a veteran quarterback needing to win to go into the playoffs. He has played in several playoff games in his career in Cincinnati.
I am not a fan of Dallas at all.
Me neither.
But Kellen Moore, his play calling right now is working. They're doing their thing, and I definitely take Dallas, especially with that 2.5. I think it's going to be a closer game, but I think Dallas definitely.
They're going to win by field goal.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Miami at Buffalo. Miami has to win to get in. Buffalo is not necessarily playing for the 2 seed, but they are, because if they lose and Pittsburgh beats the Browns, which will go over. But you know what I'm saying?
Not gonna really,
I think that matters to Buffalo, though, that you're going to have a playoff. You're a host, and the only time you're leaving is for the AFC Championship game if Kansas City holds court.
Yeah, there's no fits, so you can't bring in the magic at the end of the game to win it like they did with the whole rip of the
my goodness
face. That was crazy. I think this is a huge game for Tua. He needs to step up. However, it is going to be cold and icy in Buffalo. And I think, like you said, Jared Allen and Buffalo they're on a roll. They look good. They're probably the second best team in the AFC, and they're going to take it. I think they cover that.
Me too. I'm taking Buffalo.
All right.
I think
back to back.
Now, the next one, Atlanta at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's been rolling lately.
Yeah.
Minus 6.5. Atlanta is Atlanta. It's in Tampa Bay. This, for playoff seeding purposes, Tampa Bay's not going to. Bruce Arians doesn't rest people. They're not sitting people. They're going to try to get this victory.
Yeah.
Minus 6.5. I'm taking them. They're at home. They're going to win by 10. Their offense is rolling. They figured out some things. He's gelling with all 17 receivers he has.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Gronk is Gronk again.
Looking good.
Right in time for a playoff push. They're going to end up playing at Lambeau for the NFC Championship and losing.
Ooh.
I think Green Bay goes all the way. Yeah. The way the Tampa Bay's offense has been going,
you think
Seattle's out in the first round.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Well, Falcons blew a 17-0 lead 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, to them. So
I'm not trusting them. And like everything you just said, I trust more in the weapons. I'm taking Tampa Bay.
All right. So now this next game. Now the New York Jets, who are on a roll, rolled themselves right out of the first pick in the draft.
Feel good about saying that?
Oh, my God.
Dude, what the heck?
What was that?
What
happened? Have no receivers, and we decide to not run the ball.
Oh,
Baker throws 53 times. That's another story.
Anyways.
The New York 2 win in a row, 3 games is a winning streak, Jets, Jets.
Locked themselves out of the number 1.
Absolutely. At the New England Patriots. Now,
this is always a big game. Especially going back to like Rex Ryan.
Is Bill playing to win the game, as Herm Edwards most famously stated one time? You play to win the game.
Correct.
But Bill plays 4D chess, and these other guys are playing dominoes, bro. Yep. It's night and day. If he lets the Jets win another game, do they fall even further down the pick line? And does that only help New England? Now, I'm not saying players don't tank. I understand. But play calling, who you put in, things like that.
No way.
So you're taking the New England Patriots?
The only thing I wrote down for this game is that Belichick will not allow another loss. Not to the Jets, and not in this last game at home.
I understand.
I'm taking as much as I honestly think the Jets are the better team right now, which is crazy to say. And I almost thought about taking the Jets, but I couldn't do it. And again, it's going to come down to coaching. I'm taking Belichick. I take New England with the 3.5.
All right, I'm taking the Jets.
Oh, it's our first disagreement, but okay. All right.
All right, this next game, obviously, Baltimore Ravens are rolling. Winning, they get in. It's at Cincinnati. Cincinnati does not have Joe Burrow. They're playing valiantly, we will say. I think they got their signature win of the season against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday Night Football. Still a very glorious day.
Lamar's rolling.
Baltimore's a 13-point.
They're
going to win by 20. They're going to put this away early. They're going to punch this ticket by the third quarter that they're going to be in the playoffs. I
think Baltimore will hands down win. I don't like that 13 points.
So you're taking Cincinnati point-wise?
No, I'm still taking Baltimore. Okay. Like I said, Lamar's rolling. They're doing things. They're coached well. Their D's looking okay. I'm taking Baltimore.
All right, me too. Now, this next game, the reason for this today
are you guys going to do it?
Is because of them.
Okay. We talked about this. It's going to
come. You're in last week and you lose to the stinking Jets.
Yes.
I understand you don't have your receiving core. I understand offensive line was banged up. They were pressuring. They were doing everything they could against you. But Baker throwing the ball 53 times. The running game not working. They did try to run. I'm not going to say they didn't. But Baker putting the ball on the field 3 times. Can't have that. To do all of those things and lose by basically under a touchdown.
It was like he took 2 steps back again. Like he was looking solid.
It was. I gotta imagine it's got to be tough to throw to people you've never thrown to in an offense that they don't know with your left and right guards. I know. I'm here. I'm not making excuses.
You lost to the friggin' Jets.
I agree.
So this week, are you going to win?
Win and they get in. They're going to win this game.
So we don't have Roethlisberger in.
No, you don't.
Mason Rudolph. So this is a fun, actually very hilarious start for him going back to.
Wonderful young man.
Yeah. Browns got shut down, but it wasn't their full facility because the COVID was outside the facility. But you guys still might be down, your tight end and a tackle?
We're down our 3rd tight end. We're down 2 linebackers, which stink because B.J. Goodson and Malcolm Smith are very good at what they do. They're probably the most consistent linebackers that this team has. Harrison Bryant has made plays, but I'll tell you what, if he's the one that I have to lose and I keep Austin Hooper and Njoku, so be it. Bryant's put the ball on the field at a couple of unopportune times this year, both from being stripped and just getting hit. Great. I really enjoy the kid. I think he's going to continue to blossom and be good. I'm fine with him being out. -10 is tough because I feel like it's never going to be easy for Cleveland. You mean to tell me they're going to have a lead to where we know with 4 minutes to go that they're making the playoffs? Nah. They're going to win this game. I don't think they cover 10.
That's exactly what I have. I have Cleveland winning, but not covering.
I just don't. It's not
this
happening. Team doesn't get those type of breaks.
No, exactly. And I think Mason Rudolph is going to be motivated more than people actually
Now, let's talk about this. No Marcus Pouncey on purpose. Can't have Myles Garrett out there trying to play for a playoff victory going against Mason Rudolph with that cat in there. There's just some bad blood. Can't have that. Their running game stinks. I'm talking about you Steelers. They stink. Their offensive play is lackluster at best. Okay? They're sitting some prime defensive players. They're already down defensive players. There's no excuse for them to not win this game. The 10 points is Vegas saying, show us.
I love how excited you get about Cleveland.
And they're not going to show us.
You'll get the win.
We'll win, but we're not covering.
But you're not covering.
I can go on about it all day.
Can we move forward now?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so we got Minnesota at Detroit.
Detroit at home. They're 7 underdog. Minnesota has no Dalvin Cook. Rest in power. His father passed away. He's taking the day.
Yeah.
Taking some time, so he'll be done.
But you still got Thielen. You got Jefferson.
They have a good backup running game. I'm taking Minnesota -7. I think the team rallies.
Detroit
stinks, bro.
I feel so bad for Stafford.
This will be it. He'll be gone. Matt Stafford will be your quarterback in Denver next year.
Matt Stafford might be the new San Francisco 49ers.
I'm going to say the Denver Broncos.
You think so?
Yeah.
I would love if we go after him and trade Garoppolo back to New England, but that's a whole other story.
This division would not love that, but yeah, you're right.
We'll see. It's going to be an interesting offseason.
So you taking Minnesota?
Yeah, I'm taking Minnesota.
I mean, they're going to put up points.
Yeah, I don't see Detroit putting up the points. I think Minnesota can do it. Even though Cook's going to be out, I'm still taking Minnesota.
Now, this next game, Arizona Cardinals win and you're in. It's on the road in L.A. Rams, no Jared Goff. They have to win and get some help. It's a must-win situation for both teams. Kyler Murray is indeed going to play, is how I understand it as of today.
Yeah.
I think it's, again, one of those gut sack games. I have to roll with the home dogs.
Really?
I got to roll with the home. I'm going to take the Cardinals. This is so much of a faith move as it is that I believe in him, but I don't believe in a Jared Goff-less Rams. I don't really believe in a Jared Goff's Rams.
The Rams have been so up and down. We've been talking about this all year. So we have John Wolford, who's going to start from Wake Forest, but they also have Cup and then they have their defensive tackle Brooks out. Akers did not participate today, so that doesn't necessarily tell me much because he still probably will play, but. No way. The Rams are the Rams, and without all of that, I'm taking Arizona.
And you know what sucks is all the money's on the Cardinals, which you usually want to fade. This would be a very Cardinals thing to do. It'd be to lose this game when you have to get in and you're obviously the favorite on a must-win situation.
They have to, and leave it to man.
I'm still taking the Cardinals.
I'm taking them. I can't.
I'm not betting on them. Let me put it that way. I'm staying away from that game.
And this is another thing. With both teams are very well coached. You don't like Kingsbury or McVay?
I like Kingsbury. I well coached. He's got some learning to do, which he will learn. He's good. I'm not saying fire the guy. I'm not in that boat or anything like that. I think they can grow with him, but he's got a lot of learning to do at the NFL level.
Would you say they're in the top half of the coaching? As far as coaching?
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yes, I'll give you that.
All right.
Yes, that's McVay can recall all these plays, and it's amazing.
Yeah. No, I get it, but I would say that they're well coached. They're not. They don't have horrible coaches.
They're innovative.
They're not making stupid freaking calls.
I'll give you that. They're innovative.
Just make field goals. Well, actually, it's good for me. All right, so this is. Oh man.
So this is the weekend that you don't want to be at your house. Seattle at San Francisco. Granted, it doesn't mean much for San Francisco.
No.
Seattle, they're already in the playoffs. This might mean something with seeding on where they're going on the road to play.
They can get the #1 seed.
Stop. The other two teams aren't going to lose. If they do, yes, they'll have the #1 seed. That'd be crazy. Let's go with they're not going to have the #1 seed. They're going to be the 3 or the 4.
I don't think that they will. I think Green Bay will win, and they'll lock it.
And then New Orleans. And then are they the 3rd seed?
That might be an interesting game too, but I think Seattle will win. They're on a mission. Their D's getting back. Their run game's going good. They have depth. We're depleted.
We said that last week.
I know, and I'm so excited that we won. But I'm not going to do it against Seattle.
I'm taking Seattle as well.
I think that's a smart. You can't.
San Francisco got that victory they were going to get as the underdog on doing those things last week.
Yeah.
Like the Jets. They got that win. I know I took them here, but this is more about Belichick being... I'm taking Seattle in this one. Again, I think they are all about believing in mojo and getting in and being... We're not sitting, guys. We need to be rolling on a positive note,
Oh, my gosh.
You got to be able to keep people
gun chilling
in.
And the cooking... I believe, again, either coaching. I think we have
Seattle's going to win.
Great coaching, but the quarterbacks, that's a big difference.
Russell Wilson will clap them into a victory. Okay?
Okay, that'll work. We'll take it. All right.
Now, the next game, a promising offense with key defensive players on that Los Angeles Chargers team.
Yes.
At Kansas City, who's sitting Patty Mahomes.
And
is that what you said?
They're sitting Mahomes and also... possibly other players.
Kansas City's a -3.5 favorite. That's assuming that he wasn't playing.
Right.
This means nothing for the Chargers. Kansas City, this means nothing. They've wrapped up the number. Well, because they beat Buffalo earlier. Okay, yeah. I was just
they're already in the bye. That's why they're sitting Mahomes.
I'm still giving Andy Reid and that Kansas City team this win. 3.5. They never cover though. They never cover.
But they've been having 13, 12, 14.5 point. This is I think this is disrespectful. It's a lot to do with Mahomes not playing. But you're still going to have... Kelsey's going to play.
Yeah, for how long? Is he playing a series and then he's putting the jacket on?
Well, once you put up 14 points, then you'll...
Yeah, okay. I wouldn't bet this game. I got Kansas City circle, but you know what?
I like Herbert, but I'm taking Kansas City.
Wait a minute, though. I just read that wrong. Kansas City's the 3.5 point dog. Mm-hmm. They're the dog.
They're the 3.5.
They're the 3.5. Yeah, I'll stick with what I had.
Yeah.
I'll stick with. I was thinking for some reason that it was the other way around.
No, it's because Mahomes is out, but no, I'm taking Kansas City.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. All right. Dude, this is a frustrating
14 and a half game. This is again, Indy, prove me.
Yeah.
This is Vegas saying you win, you need help. We think you're going to get help.
Indy has to win. And Jacksonville
stinks.
Doesn't care. They're already locked up for the #1 pick. They're going to pick Trevor Lawrence.
But again, players care. These guys are waiting to put film on available for other coaches to look.
The Jets beat your ass.
Yep, bro. I'm telling you.
Yes, yeah, they absolutely do.
I still don't believe in Phillip Rivers. And last week, I feel good about that when they were beating the Steelers and they had the Steelers come back and win. Unbelievable. I'll take Jacksonville plus the 14 and a half.
I'm taking Indy with the win.
Yeah, me too.
But Jacksonville covers.
Yeah. 14 and a half. That's a big number.
They like we've said this probably the last 12 weeks that they're going to cover. So, yeah.
Now, in my opinion, what should be the Sunday night football game, the Green Bay Packers at Chicago. Chicago, 5.5 point underdog at home, win, and they're in scenario. Green Bay wins, they lock up the #1.
For sure.
Both teams want to win. Mitch is rolling.
New Orleans and Seattle needs other things to happen plus the win. They just have to win. Aaron Rodgers is playing at a Mensa level right now. He's as the kids say, he's God mode right now. He's God mode. Is that the new one?
I don't think that's new, but it's new to me. So now it's new to you.
Yeah.
I think it's a video game term, maybe. I don't know.
All right,
but that's what he's playing like right now. He's playing like he's playing against 10-year-olds. It's incredible what he's doing. I think he continues to do it. I have them going to the Super Bowl. So to me, I think this is just they want to lock this up. They needed to go through Lambeau. You don't want to come to Lambeau and play against them because the snow, obviously, we just saw on Sunday Night Football does not affect, or on Saturday Night Football, excuse me, doesn't affect. Devontae Adams doesn't affect the running game, doesn't affect Aaron Rodgers. He said it doesn't affect him at all. Matter of fact, he enjoys it.
It was impressive. Like, it really did not look like they were playing in snow. But, yeah, I'm taking Green Bay. Unless you're the Niners when we had Cap and we just ran all over them.
Or Michael Vick, and he ran all over them back then, too. So, yes. But Mitch isn't either of those guys.
Like I said, Rodgers is playing probably the best football he's been playing his entire career. They look good. They want the #1 seed. They're not going to let this go to Trubisky and the Chicago Bears.
Agreed. All right, now, the let me down Las Vegas Raiders.
Dude.
Are you serious? Well, I already told you. What did I say last week? That would be the last time I would bet on them.
Yep.
For the year. I'm taking Denver. I know that I'm taking Denver plus the 2. For that, only for that reason. It's because I said that. Are you joking? What is going on?
But they're playing Denver. It's in Denver, so that's the other part.
I hope it snows and it's blistery and it's a 6 to 12 game.
It's hard to trust Carr or Locke. Like, what do you... But I believe the Raiders have more weapons, and I'm taking the Raiders with that.
They do. In both
I
coaching,
think it's going to be
both coaching. This is very...
field goal game.
Thank you. 12-6.
I think it's very much so, and I think Raiders pull it.
All right. New Orleans, they need a victory and a Green Bay loss. And they're a 6.5 point favorite on the road at Carolina.
Take a minute to praise 6 touchdowns.
Oh, Alvin Kamara. Should have had 7.
Only the second time it's ever happened.
Should have had 7.
And it's been, 91 years?
There's a lot of guys that could have done this. Let's preference that if they're allowed to play. But it's awesome that he was able to accomplish that.
6. That is amazing.
Well, like I said, he should have had 7. Taysom Hill stole one. I think Taysom Hill called the audible line of scrimmage and punked him out of that touchdown. I think so. I think he did. No.
But New Orleans can still get the #1 seed. He needs a Green Bay loss, a Seattle win, and then it's a 3-way tie.
Well, look what New Orleans does when Drew Brees doesn't play. They don't lose.
Yeah.
I'm taking them on the road in Carolina, -6.5 to win by a tutty or more.
Yeah. And no CMC. He's done.
Mike Davis did a hell of a job this year filling in for him. Honest to God's truth, he put up a lot of yards, blocking, catching, he filled in nicely. If he wasn't filling in for CMC,
it would have been
people would be talking about how great Mike Davis's season was.
Right.
But because it was a fill-in and there was kind of ups and downs, it's more about CMC not playing
And
versus this guy
Bridgewater
stepping in and playing very well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree. Because that would have been a nice compliment.
Now, here's another one. Tennessee win, and they win the division.
This is going to be interesting.
At Houston, after J.J. Watt laid down the smack down on the Houston defense's candy ass, he put on a 3.5 minute diatribe.
Don't show the F up, right?
So we're going to see who doesn't show up. They're a 7.5 point underdog. They have a chance to stop Tennessee from winning the division and possibly keeping them out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, Houston still has Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
I'm taking the Houston Texans to upset the Tennessee Titans at home, Week 17. Jason Grove, that's for you saying I don't take underdogs. This is right now. I have not had it circled. I think they lose. Indy wins, and they're the ones that win their division and make it in the playoffs.
So
Bang! Calling it now.
I hate that this is a 7.5 point. I hate these spreads. But Houston defense sucks. And I think Henry is going to keep rolling on that defense. Tannehill is doing his thing in a way. He's making some dimes. I'm taking Tennessee.
He's underrated. He's underrated.
He is, but
Tannehill's
he has his moments, though.
He's properly rated.
Maybe a little bit under, but I still believe more in Derrick Henry and Tannehill. I'm taking Tennessee even with that 7.5. I hate taking these games when they're close, but I'm taking Tennessee.
All right. Now, this Sunday night football game that shouldn't be the Sunday night football game.
This is going to decide the NFC least.
Yep. And I do think that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win this game. And with Dallas winning, Dallas is going to backdoor sneak into the playoffs and screw themselves out of a better draft pick just to get written to the slaughterhouse on Wild Card Weekend. But anything's possible. Andy Dalton. You never know. You never know.
Andy Dalton?
Yeah, for Dallas, they get in the playoffs.
You think he's going to?
I don't understand.
All right.
Washington they had a distraction. Dwayne Haskins, they friggin' cut the kid, which probably rightfully so. They're rolling Alex Smith.
I have to give respect to Rivera. The balls to have to do that. You have to.
I understand. I don't fault what they did. He should know better. It's zero tolerance. I understand.
There's so much more to it. Just like how he lost the captain role. Like there's been a succession of going downhill. Like it is obvious. So I'm not surprised.
Hopefully he gets his stuff together, grows up, figures himself out. He's a young kid with a lot of money and no supervision. Not making excuses, but some people can't handle that. He's showing that he's not one of them. Doesn't mean he can't turn it around. Doesn't mean he can't have an NFL career. Doesn't mean any of that. But right now, he's so young.
He's very much so, but hopefully he gets it together either way.
I think that's just so much of a distraction with everything going on. I know they need to win. I think Philadelphia dynamically playing with their quarterback that they have.
You like?
I mean, look, they have something to prove themselves. I think this is we don't know that dude's going to be back. Doug Peterson will be back with the Eagles.
Right.
I feel like this is he needs to win game.
Absolutely. And I think Hurts he looks good. I think he also wants to prove something.
I think people put too much pressure on these kids so young that if they have one bad game, it's like, get rid of him. What are you doing? You can't do that.
It's been unless you're in a good organization where they trust it. That's so true. We think Alex Smith is going to be back. Was it Hinkie?
Yeah.
So Taylor Hinkie came in.
Chase Young said he liked him.
Yeah.
Went up and pumped him up.
Right.
I like it. I think from a leadership standpoint, it was part of that. But the kid got some juice. I don't know if that carries over if he has to play against Philadelphia in Philadelphia.
I think Philadelphia is going to pull this off and upset Washington, and Washington's going to blow this division, and actually Dallas is going to end up getting in the division.
And it'll be better. And it'll be better for Washington down the road.
Probably. But yeah, I believe more in Hurts. And I love Alex Smith. And I think he's actually if there was a comeback player of the year, like, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. Because he's played multiple games. It wasn't like he just came in for one series. He's had to play. He's had to start. He's gotten hurt, missed a game, come back.
Yes.
Throwing for over 400 yards in a game this season.
Dude, a great thing for him. However, I think actually Philly pulls off this and gets the win and screws over Washington. All
right, so right now, who's making the playoffs? We don't need to do our playoff predictions. We'll save that for next week. But who is making the playoffs in the AFC?
So we got, I would say, obviously Buffalo.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so the 1 seed's Kansas City.
Oh, yeah.
2 seed's Buffalo.
Yeah.
3 seed is Pittsburgh. 4 seed is going to be the winner of Tennessee, Indy, whoever wins that division.
Yes.
5 seed will probably be Baltimore. The 6 seed will be Miami.
I don't think
Miami. Well, no. Miami, sorry, Indy's in. Sorry.
If Buffalo wins, then
it'll be Tennessee.
Out.
It'll be Tennessee. Actually, Tennessee will be the 7 seed. Cleveland will be the 6.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Because Tennessee could still lose and still make the playoffs. Indy can still win. They need a loss. If Miami loses, they're out.
Yeah.
So we'll put Cleveland at the 6 seed. So 2's playing 7. Buffalo at Tennessee at Buffalo. 3's playing 6. That's Pittsburgh, Cleveland. Back-to-back weeks.
Ooh.
4 playing 5 would be Indy and Baltimore.
That would be
or
good.
Tennessee and Indy. Whoever wins that.
You could swap that. But yeah,
those are who you think's in.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that.
So Miami's out. We agree. Miami's out.
Yeah, Miami's
out. Tennessee's could lose and still get in. Actually, and if Indy wins, Miami could lose. They're out. Indy's in. Tennessee wins. They're both in. So very plausible. What about in the NFC?
So Green Bay, I think, locks it up.
Okay, me too.
You can swap New Orleans and Seattle.
I'm gonna say
Seattle. Oh,
you know, I'll give you that. I'll say Seattle, and we'll say New Orleans gets 3. They get chippy. 4.
Yeah.
I got Dallas Cowboys.
It's got to be because they
or Washington.
I'm saying Dallas.
Okay. The 5 seed.
So
we got Arizona.
Arizona.
They'll be the 7. Let's just say the 6.
Tampa Bay.
They're probably the 5.
Yeah, I would say.
And then who's the 6?
So Tampa Bay and then Arizona.
Yep. Oh, Chicago.
And then
Chicago. If we got Arizona in, that means they beat the Rams.
Yeah.
Chicago. So the 7 seed plays the 2.
Yeah.
The 7 seed plays the 2 seed. It could be Seattle.
So much.
Bro, it could be Seattle, Arizona. 2 versus 7 if Seattle got the 2. Let's say it's New Orleans. New Orleans, Arizona.
Seattle's going to lose in the first round. So you're saying
not now. With this.
Oh, okay.
With
so
this.
Now, okay.
But so, I thought, what for the 3?
If we're going off of this right now, who do you think is AFC, NFC, where we're going to the championship game?
Kansas City is going to play Buffalo.
Yep, I would agree.
Green Bay is going to play Tampa Bay. I got Green Bay, Kansas City. I got Green Bay. Now, if I was to cut out Buffalo in this Cinderella story of a season and take my own Cleveland Brownies, they'll still lose in the AFC Championship game. I don't think they're beating Kansas City. I would like to see them get 1 victory. Baltimore also sneaky team because they can play on the road. It just comes down to, bro, there's the AFC, to me, top to bottom is tougher than the NFC, looking at this 1 through 7.
Think so?
Kansas City, Buffalo, Pitt, Baltimore, Tennessee, Cleveland, and Indy. That's a tough. Oh, Green Bay, Seattle, New Orleans, Dallas, Washington, blah. Tampa Bay, okay. Yes, of course. Chicago, blah. Arizona.
The top 3 of the NFC are it. The top 2 of the AFC, I think, are it.
Yeah.
I would.
If Pittsburgh didn't get off to 11-0 start and Baltimore, and it was flip, think about that. Baltimore would be the 3. People would be talking about Baltimore in the Super Bowl again.
I think people are underrating Buffalo. I think people are showing respect to Buffalo. They're not. I want to see that game.
Me
Buffalo,
too.
Kansas City, and I really want to see. Can it happen where if we're looking at the way we are, Seattle, Green Bay? Yeah.
Yeah, if they were 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Because they would be. Yeah. Otherwise, they're playing the divisional round.
Oh,
if they both move on.
I want to see it. But it's going to be interesting.
And we'll know more after Sunday. Next week, we'll do our playoff because we'll know it's slotted, how it's looking, what we think will happen. We'll already have the spreads. We'll know where we're at. Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be interesting.
All right, man. Well, this is the last episode of 2020.
Dude, what was the best time? So, obviously, this was a crazy year. I mean, hands down, everybody can say that.
Besides the obvious worst and best.
What was your best moment this year? Or best
sports moment. Probably that we had sports. I got to be honest. Probably that the NFL and college football basically
when
for the most part.
basketball came back.
For
the
you.
bubble. That was when it started. Like, that was what was exciting.
Yes. It was, yeah.
Sports-wise.
Yeah. But I think getting through a football season is a heck of a lot harder than having, it's just less people in the bubble versus football. I know. But I'm saying, like, either way, they got through it.
Yeah.
For the most part, even though the Big Ten were a bunch of stooges and started late and had this whole controversy going on.
Yeah, and even though we still did our fantasy football league and my wife won money. So
it's an
I'll take
asterisk.
it.
CJ, you have an asterisk next to that, by the way. You won the COVID cup. You won the COVID cup.
Oh my God!
I'll make sure that I order. Yeah, I'm going to order something for her just special for the COVID cup.
That's hilarious. But I do have to say that I know this has been a crazy year, but one thing that I can say that like I do feel blessed about is that we were forced to like be with family, and it was fun. We did a lot of crazy dinners. We did a lot of different games. We did stuff that we would have never done or like consistently been forced to do. Mm-hmm. And more times, even just shooting hoops with the son, like I have to say that's the one thing I'm taking away from this year that I'm very blessed that awesome family, kids are handling their stuff.
I feel like this year for me, probably, obviously, besides family and obviously people being healthy, haven't had anybody with anything or anybody around us with anything. Getting this ready and just doing it.
This has been fun.
You know what I mean? Like, just doing it. Like, okay, taking it to the next step and doing it, moving forward with it. And it's scary as hell sometimes.
Yeah.
And we usually do this in one take. We don't start over. So
that is true. So just so you all know, we've only ever reshot one show, and that was because this old fart forgot to hit the audio. That's the only time. Every time we always shoot this in one shot, and it's fun. We don't even talk about much before. We talk about a couple of different things of how we want to lay out the structure.
And maybe in 2021 we'll start talking about things more before we do shows. But the show will evolve because obviously football's going to be over in a couple of weeks. Yep. We're going to cover basketball. We can't just cover basketball. There's not a lot going on in baseball.
Do a little bit of a man show.
We'll do a little bit of everything. Talk about what's going on. Cover some unique sports topics, some sports conspiracies maybe. Go over some things that are going on, like, James Harden being so overweight. Let's talk about the heaviest NBA basketball players, like, like who was your favorite big
Sean
boy?
Kemp
who was your favorite big boy? The big O, Oliver Miller. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean,
so there's so many. So we could there's things that we'll talk about, Big Baby, that we can talk about. Charles Barkley, let's be honest. At the end of his career.
Yeah, he was
because he was a freak beforehand, but things like that, and just talking about all kinds of stuff. So that'll be happening as we move into 2021. There might be more than one episode per week, especially with it not being so heavily gambling related to sports. We'll still cover that. We'll still make some picks for basketball and all the things that come up. But I'm excited to see where this goes next year.
It's going to be fun, and we got a good behind the scenes guy. My little nephew.
Yeah, little Julian. Shout out to Julian.
He runs the show. He's been out of town, but
so that's why last week's show looked the way it did. You're welcome.
It's a little bit off, but he rocks it, and so I think he's actually going to take us to another level too.
Agreed.
But yeah, man, it's gonna be fun, and we're gonna do a college football show.
Yeah, we're gonna be bringing down the college football playoffs that start tomorrow. 2 games. Notre Dame and the Alabama Crimson Tide.
So 1 and 4.
And then the Clemson Run Your Mouth Dabo Sweeney Tigers
versus your
the Ohio State Buckeyes.
So pay attention. We're gonna post 2 videos tonight.
Yep,
check it out. And Instagram J.O.W_RR. Check us out there as well, dude.
Thanks, everybody, by the way. I appreciate it. I love having all the remarks I get. I got family from Ohio watching, friends, people that are friends of my wife's, people that are coworkers, the Bowas. I got a bone pick you, Bowers, and the Raiders, but that's for another day.
Lots of good times, but hey.
But I really appreciate the feedback. I appreciate everybody, the feedback that we get as well. We love constructive criticism, what you guys want to see more. I've been enjoying it. It's been
just to talk with other people.
So
yeah, absolutely.
End of the year, shout out a couple of people besides our family. Reconnected. That was the other thing too that kind of happened.
Yes,
is you reconnect with old, whether it was school or sports or work.
There's a lot of different text threads that were different groups of family, which was really awesome.
Reconnected with Jacob Hammonds.
Oh my!
You know what I'm saying?
He'll watch. He'll know what that means.
Reconnected with a lot of people through Facebook, through Twitter, through Instagram, it means kids in high school, kids in middle school. I had a Dan Barker shout out. You remember being in Mrs. Wood's class 6th grade? Like you instantly go back to it. This is what happens. We have nothing to do. Yep.
Head in a phone all day long.
You know what? Honestly, that's probably the best of what came of this year was connecting with more people that I haven't been in touch with in a long time. So it was very nice.
Relationships are important, and especially I think in now times, just even if it's somebody just to BS with or somebody that you know that you can talk to that nobody else is going to know info.
Yep.
It's nice.
Yeah, you always got to have that G13 classified friend.
Oh, of course.
So
absolutely.
With that, everybody, stay tuned. We'll have the college playoff preview video out shortly after this one is loaded.
Yep.
And here's to a great 2021.
Get over 2020. Happy 2021. One love.
Thank you.